Om Namah Shivaya. Welcome you to Dots of Destiny. This is the video of Mars transit into Pisces. As it was not enough that Mars already is going through a conjunction with Saturn and now it is parting ways, and by 23rd April it will be coming into Pisces, which is a very different energy of Mars. Had it been alone in Pisces, the energy would have been quite different, but again here it is destined to meet Rahu in the way, and this is the Pisces, as we know, is a very calm sign, but this is deep ocean and a lot of undercurrents are there when Mars and Rahu meets in this kind of environment. And obviously Mars is fire and Rahu is air, so mostly all the elements other than earth we find over here. Mars is there, Rahu is there, and Pisces is a watery sign. So three together, they creates lot of internal imbalances, internal desires erupting into big desires, some volatility in the environment, the many other factors outside. In mundane astrology also we see that lot of issues coming up in the environment. So these things are there. But obviously Mars is venturing into the sign of Jupiter. Jupiter is Mars's friend. Now see, the transit starts on 23rd of April and ends on 1st of June. After that Mars will begin its journey, a fresh new journey in Aries, though again aspected by Saturn. But so the ordeal of Mars is much, as we can see, first conjunct Saturn, then conjunct Rahu, then into Aries, new beginnings, again aspected by Saturn, lot of things happening with the planets. Sometimes it happens that the planets gears up for some kind of big changes, or they want us to make these changes, and they make the environment such that we are left with no other thing than to go with the changes and make the changes by ourselves, within and outside us. Now as Mars enters, it does not immediately meets Rahu, because Rahu is still in Revati, and then Mars Rahu conjunction happens like 18, 19, 20th May, which is a little far away from right now. Then at that point when the conjunction happens, there we have Sun and Jupiter at exact degree in Taurus. So Jupiter will be combust. The dispositor of Mars Rahu is combust. So here the precautions regarding the actions that is driven by Mars and Rahu needs to be taken even more carefully, because Jupiter is the the knowledge, the vivek, what we call the realization of a thing, is combust at that point of a time, totally combust, with Sun exactly at 4 degrees in Taurus, and Venus also will be entering Taurus at that point of time. So here we have Mars Rahu, and on those particular days there will be Moon Ketu conjunction in Virgo. So at that point of time I'll make a video, but this is just the beginning of the journey of Mars in Pisces. So let's see what is built up for all the ascendants. Let's jump into that. For Pisces, Mars is coming on the Lagna. Now when Mars is one of your important planets, especially the Bhagya Lord, it is coming onto your Lagna, it is actually good. The second Lord coming on the second and the ninth Lord coming on the Lagna is actually good, and you can feel lot of energies building up within yourself. You can feel that some extra earnings can come up to you. Some long distance journeys can be pending, that can happen. These things will put you on a, Mars, whenever it comes on the Lagna, it creates that kind of an energy that you want to do something. But the thing is that over here Rahu is also there, especially after the 10th of May, as the conjunction gets closer, you have to be a little wary of the steps that you have taken, because Mars is aspecting your fourth house, and then it is aspecting your seventh and the eighth also. Now, fourth house aspect of Mars is not at all a good aspect, and it is also the sign of Gemini over there. Then Virgo, already where Mars is aspecting Ketu, is there. Some kind of turbulence in the family. If you are running a Mars Antardasha, especially, you need to take care of this transit. What are the things that you need to take care is that some home front issues can creep up. Second is that because the Mars is aspecting the seventh house, your partner's health can come under, a scrutiny. And also, if you are driving some accident prone things, you can be accident prone at times, so do not think other things while driving, because Mars is having an aspect on the 8th house also. So here Mars is not bad exactly, but the problem is it is happening to have a clash with Rahu, and so your energies, because Mars is a drive planet, it is our drive, whatever we want to do, whatever goals we have set for this month, because it is a monthly transit, not a yearly, that can suddenly feel the immediate need to do it. So take care of your health also, because it is on the Lagna. Mars sometimes creates, you get hurt sometimes on the head. It has happened very often when Mars transit happens on the Lagna. Or the mind, if it's a Pisces moon, then it's too much, even more, because your moon is there and Rahu is already transiting there and Mars is over there. So all in all, it is a 50-50 transit. It will give you some energy to do the things, but because Rahu is also a disruptive energy, it is coming across Mars. Some issues in the way can happen. Things may not exactly turn out the way that you want it to be, the way you want it to be. So accordingly, please plan your things, because many planets are because as Mars is entering, you have in Revati Mercury retrograde, then Mercury will go direct, then Venus is also there, it will go to Aries, and also Rahu is there. So here lot of planets are having lot of things to do with, and especially on your Lagna. So take slow steps, maintain calm, because it is a very volatile transit. That is the first thing about this transit. So take it in your stride and move ahead with your plans. Then comes Aquarius. Aquarius, this conjunction or this transit of Mars is happening in your second house. Second house is all about, just now you had a big transit on the Lagna, Saturn Mars. So I feel that some kind of environmental things, or environment not too much favoring you with your job, with your public image or whatever, because Mars is your 10th lord. Now this 10th lord or the third lord is coming into the second house. Now this is, first and foremost, you must have a big control on your tongue. If you're a public speaker, or if you're a person who usually mingles with a lot of people, or in the office environment you have to dictate terms to people, don't behave in a very erratic way. This conjunction or this transit of Mars in the second house will make you behave like that. Don't take impulsive decisions. Regarding money matters, money can start flowing out more. Saturn is there on the Lagna. One saving grace is this, that Saturn always will make you think more and take slow approach towards things, which is what is required in the month of April and May, because planets are all giving a scenario of lot of built up undercurrents, crisis, whatever you call it, the planets are behaving in that way. We cannot do much. Sometimes I feel the planets do this thing so that we can change our perspective towards things, and Pisces is all about ending and new beginnings, because as Mars always in nearly 1.5 years, 2 years, it will complete this cycle of 12 zodiacs, and then it comes back to Aries. So Pisces Mars is, I have seen significant endings happen, and then you start with a new agenda in Aries, because Aries is all about fresh new beginning, going for a start. So this till the end of May, it is quite a time to reflect more. Your dreams can be high. You can suddenly feel very ambitious if you have a Mars Rahu Dashantar Dasha running. Family life can get a bit disturbed. There can be, clashes within people. The mentality of the people may not match. That kind of things can happen. So whatever it is, if the money is flowing out suddenly, Mars is also aspecting your 8th house. Ketu is already there, and Mars is aspecting your 5th house also, which is the Gemini house. So these aspects are not, because both are Mercurian sign, Virgo and Gemini. These aspects are not very welcomed for Mars aspecting Virgo and Gemini. That's what I'm saying. So keep a tab on your children. This is the 5th house. If you are a student, Aquarius people, then you can feel a little bit of glitches in the way. You can feel very distracted. You can feel that things are not going, because Saturn is on the Lagna, Mars is in the 2nd house aspecting the 5th house. Then all these things can happen. It is not a very good transit actually, but we have to go with the transit. We have to take the energy, put it in the right pockets wherever is required. Suppose you have certain expenditures will happen, you cannot stop it, but if you can stop it, do not make the expenditures now, because already Rahu is there, and Saturn is transiting your Lagna, and you can feel frustrated at times, and you want to do something on that spree. You should not be spending money. Some spending will happen automatically. That is destined. So what you can stop, you give it a stop. So overall, that kind of an energy will prevail till the end of May. Take care of health, take care of your food habits, because Mars is aspecting the 5th and the 8th. Some indigestion issues and all these things can creep up. So stay cool. It's also the hot summer months, so we have to stay calm and cool. And so you can chant Hanuman Chalisa or whatever suits you. Saturn is on the Lagna, you can chant Om Namah Shivaya. It is a very cooling, it is a very what can I say, it's very calming effect on the brain happens with these kind of chanting. That is the first and foremost benefit for such mantra chanting. So have a good time, Aquarius. Take it slow and steady. Capricorn, this transit is happening in the 3rd house. Actually, 3rd house is a good house to have these kind of planets, Mars and Rahu, but because these are very having in a transit of Mars Rahu together, and it is kind of a Yuddha Yoga, Angarak, very highly volatile, and in the deep waters of Pisces, don't immediately run for action, because 3rd house is all lot of communication, lot of energy boost up, lot of wanting to take some action, do some things. Immediately don't do it. Stay put and see how the things pan out, especially as Mars immediately enters Pisces. You can feel that spree to do something, because Mars feels quite comfortable in the 3rd house, but Rahu is waiting at the end of the sign of Pisces, and it is also your neighbor's house, your sibling's house, your right hand, your shoulders. So keep a check on all these things. Suppose if you're a sportsman, you love to play sports, then also be careful about your health, because Mars will be aspecting your 6th house also of competition. If you're a student, you can feel your studies, you cannot concentrate too much, or while you're communicating in your surroundings, your neighbors, don't get into a heated discussion, don't be too volatile in your nature. And if you are driving or something, you have that kind of nature, then please be careful about it. Now 3rd house is also about communication in a official front. These can be good actually. If you have to communicate something very blatantly, that can happen. If you have a journey to take place, it can get disturbed a little bit because Ketu is there in the 9th house but aspected by Mars. So it can get disrupted or little delayed because Mars aspect on Virgo and Gemini is exactly not very good. So take a proper approach if you want to go for a journey, because Mercury is also debilitated actually in Pisces while Mars enters. Then slowly Mercury Venus comes out to Aries. So if these are the things you have to keep in mind. Otherwise you will have lot of gusto, you will feel like you can do certain things as this transit progresses. But because always remember that Rahu Mars is very, very highly it ignites the fire. Mars is fire, Rahu is air, which even it flares up the fire more, and Pisces is a watery sign. So take care of your actions, do it, because it is not a bad, totally I cannot call in the 3rd house it is a very bad transit. No, it will give you some forcefulness to go ahead with your plan that should be executed. 6th house also Mars is aspecting, especially if you have a Mars Antardasha or Mahadasha, Antardasha or Pratyantar running, because this is for just 1.5 months, so you can go ahead with it. But always keep a little caution as you exercise your plans. You cannot sit back at this time, that is for sure. But take some little caution and think before you execute the plan so that it does not flare up on your face. Then we come to Sagittarius. Sagittarius, it is happening in your 4th house. 4th house Mars transit I don't feel is very, though Mars is your 5th lord, but it's a 12th lord also. Other than the non-living part of it, I don't feel it helps much, especially education related matters can suffer. You may not feel that you have the concentration to go deep into, if you're a student appearing for exams or something like that, because this is a competitive exam time. If your mother's health is somewhere ailing, you should take care of it and immediately put things in the front of medical help should be taken if required. Don't delay the process. Then your 10th house is having the aspect of this Mars. Some work things can go a little bit, you will put because 4th house Mars is kind of pent up anger also. The heart, this is the heart. The 4th house is all good things. The heart, the nourishment, the good matters. It can create some kind of an imbalance or situations in your home front such that it puts that kind of an energy in the work front. It is having an aspect on Gemini, that is your 7th house. Some clashes with the partner is seen. Definitely Mars aspects Gemini, such verbal conflicts, clashes, spats, they happen. If unless there is a saving grace of Jupiter or some good planets overriding. But this is for 1.5 months. So it is no way a good transit. So you have to wait till Mars come into your 5th house. And 5th house Mars is also very stubborn, but still at least it will be in its own sign. So if property related matters you want to buy or sell, you can, but please read the documents properly, as Mercury will also be debilitated when Mars enters Pisces. Then Mercury will go into 5th house. Rahu is also there. Rahu is always a deceptive planet. So deceptive people, selling properties and all these things, because your energy is so much in the 4th house, wherever such kind of conjunction happens, the house becomes very active, obviously. So do plan it properly. See it again and again. If possible, in this 1.5 months till the end of May, don't go for the purchase of anything or the sale of anything. Wait till Mars, you can do the documentation. Wait till the time is good, then you move to that. Because see, when Mars is having a conjunction with Rahu next month, at that time Jupiter is combusted by Sun. So when Jupiter is combusted, knowledge is missing. The good qualities of Jupiter goes missing. That is the problem. So that will be 18, 19, 20th of May. So I will say that in this 1.5 months, no major decision should be taken. If you at all want to do things regarding the 4th house other than medical things, any materialistic thing, buying, selling, this, that, wait till Mars goes into Aries, then you can go with the process. And take a care of your your 7th house matters, relationships, and also your 10th house matters, the relationship at the official front. Both has aspects of Mars which are not very good, and also 10th house is having Ketu also. From Sagittarius it is to Pisces. It's to Scorpio ascendant. Scorpio people is having a conjunction in the 5th house. 5th house, you can get some, usually it is a name, fame, recognition kind of thing. If at all you are supposed to get a increment, some kind of good placement, or some kind of transfers due to these can be favored actually. Problem will be with the progeny. If you have a grown up kid or a small kid, problems will happen over there regarding that kid. So that will keep your mind a little stuck in that 5th house. If you 5th house is also investing and trading and all these things, Mars, when it is aspecting the 11th house with Ketu, 11th house aspect of Mars is good. There can be some delays in the incoming gains, but it will happen. Ketu is also there, Mars is also aspecting your Lagna Lord, it will happen. But 5th house matters, or any investment, outflow of the money should be taken care very properly. Because see, Mars is also aspecting your 8th house. So at this point of time, sudden new ideas, that is Rahu, 5th house. Rahu is very fertile, unnecessary, sometimes very fertile things come into the brain, and Mars is your Lagna Lord, so it is getting conjunct over here, especially in the month of May month, and you can feel, yes, I can do this investment or whatever. Don't go into all these things. 5th house matters, again I'm telling, take caution. Don't go into unnecessary investment. Think wherever your name, fame is concerned, be a little cautious, because as it comes also, it can get maligned also, because whenever Mars, Sun, they come in contact with Rahu, Moon, it is not a very good kind of a vibe that Rahu gives to these planets, because they are anti-Rahu. Then 5th house, as I said, if you are a student, you can feel that you are just not feeling exactly, your intellect can be sometimes very sharp, sometimes you can feel it's just not going the way that you want. If you have small children or big children can revolt, small children can disturb and vent out their frustration. So these things can happen, you have to handle these very well. So it is a 60-40 transit. Some areas are good, but some areas are equally important to take care of. Not, see, for all the ascendants, it is as Shani Mangal, you are crossing through it at this point of time. 23rd of April it will end, the Mars and the Saturn conjunction. That is a little bit tug of war, 2 steps ahead, 2 steps here. Rahu flares up the ideas of Mars. It is I will say Saturn is better, at least you're cautious, you're a little bit frustrated. Rahu will not give you the, it'll take you to that end of it, and then suddenly you'll fall from the cliff. That kind of a thing Rahu does with Mars. That is why sudden eruption of violence happens. Sudden eruption of, the brain gets suddenly very volatile with Rahu Mars even more. So all the ascendants needs to take care in some pockets. So you also in your health area, because Mars is getting conjunct with Rahu, don't believe in foreign people whom you're not very close to or whatever. So these kind of things should be kept in mind. Then comes its Libra. Libra, you have this conjunction of Pisces, Mars in Pisces and Rahu being there in the 6th house. 6th house in some way, Angarak Yoga is good, but it's a Yuddha Yoga. It's kind of a Yuddha, right? Mars is the warrior and Rahu is that fertile head which gives lot of ideas to the warrior. Now, if you have an ongoing case going on, you can feel you charged up. Don't get too much charged up. Or if you have a official thing going on, you can feel that yes, you can beat other people in the game. Yes, these things can happen, but sometimes, you know, it is so vigorous, if you have that kind of a dasha antardasha running, that you can suddenly change your job without thinking. Suddenly you can put too much, you know, your administrative qualities can suddenly flare up. You can suddenly become very assertive. You can suddenly say something which is not at all required at that point of time. Competition is good, but overtly being competitive is sometimes can create lot of effects on other areas of your life also. Health, especially health over here, health needs to be checked, because Venus is still now in the your sixth house, then it will go to your seventh house. So you know, that kind of a thing can create problem with the counterpart, your partnership, business, personal, whatever. So take care of that. And Mars Rahu, because Ketu is in the 12th, can give you some monetary excess expenditure, because that is the house of Virgo. Mars is aspecting that. And so these things has to be taken into consideration, because Mars is such a planet which with Rahu it gives lot of too much energy at times to deal with. And also it is your seventh lord. So seventh lord coming into the sixth house can have a problem if you are at all going towards some kind of separative contract or something. That can take a very, you know, sudden a bad turn also. It's very ugly at times with Mars Rahu. Otherwise, if you are leading a normal life, then also, because seventh lord is in the sixth house, and with Rahu, some kind of health issues of the partner can also happen. So look into all these things. Official front, if you handle it well, the regular duties, if you handle it well, if you want to change a job, you can do these things, but you have to be little careful that what is the contract you are signing, because Mercury is also debilitated now at this point of time. Then it will move into Aries, but still, because Rahu is there, Rahu is a very you know, these kind of con kind of a planet. So be careful what you're signing, what you're going towards. Any court papers, any regular job papers, anything, or if you've taken a loan or you want to give it, maybe you don't feel exactly this is the right time, or if you want to end it, it's not coming to an end. If you want to take a loan, don't be too lavish in taking loans. This is also a condition that Mars Rahu does in this area. If you want to do service to others, do it just selflessly, because sixth house is also house of service. Don't do it for just getting, you know, some purpose or own purpose. So these things can happen, but sixth house is can contain this energy. Only the health part of your you have to take care, and also your partner's health part, both needs to be taken care. Next comes Virgo. It is happening in the 7th house. This is not at all a welcome transit in the 7th house. Mars itself is not good in the 7th. With Rahu, there is too much volatility in the 7th house, and your health can also be disturbed, because already you have Ketu on the Lagna, and Mars will be aspecting, and Mars is not at all your good planet. So this is the your eighth lord coming into the 7th house. You can understand it's not a very good time. If you feel that you have some partnership issues going on, then let it be the way it is for some time, if you want to restore it. If you don't want to, that's a different case, because at this point of time, when Mars is with Rahu in the 7th house and later into the 8th house, the sexual urges are also very high. So here people can commit into other relationships. Now these things, they, you know, and it is not the right time also, because whenever Rahu is attempting something with Mars, it ends up into some kind of a wrong idea, violence, disruption, very high level of disgrace, something like that, because Rahu conjunction with Mars, Sun, Moon, these are not at all welcomed. And that is the reason, because your 7th lord Jupiter is also getting combust by sun. So the, you know, the vivek, the respect, the authenticity, the knowledge is also missing at this point of time. May month, as it is a summer month, it's a very volatile, at least in this year of 2024. So take care of your health, your relationships. Mars will be aspecting your 10th house also from the 7th, and these areas you have to be very cautious, and also your 2nd house. So it is there in the 7th aspecting your 10th house matters. It is can sometimes go well, but also Gemini, when the sign is Gemini, Mars is aspecting that sign, it is not always very good, because it gives sudden, you know, issues with the sign of Gemini, Mars aspecting the 10th house. Then your Lagna, it will make you suddenly very volatile, anger prone, especially when Moon is transiting with Ketu that point of time. And also when Mars is aspecting your 2nd house, you should take care of your money. Money can come also, because you can get better jobs also, money can come. Don't be too much, you know, a strict administrator. Sometimes Mars does that in the 7th house, because Mars Rahu both conjunct over there, and it is aspecting your Lagna. Sometimes you can be very strict and very stern and rude, and your language should also be taken care of, because Mars is also aspecting the 2nd house. So health, partnership, all these things needs to be taken care. Tread slowly, take the May month cautiously, and things will be better soon. And Mercury now at this present moment is in retrograde and Nicha. Slowly it will come back into Aries, that is your 8th house, and it will go forward in its right motion, so that you get a better understanding of the things. For Leo Ascendants, it is the 8th house that Mars is transiting into Pisces. Already the time is not very good for you, but at least Sun has become exalted. That is a saving grace. Mars is actually 8th house. Mars is, as you know, it's not wanted in that house. And with Rahu, first and foremost, the care of health should be taken very much. Some kind of acidity, indigestion, some kind of, you know, your areas where you should keep a focus on is your private parts. If you have to do a surgery, then wait till the time is good. If it can be postponed for few days, or exactly not during the conjunction days, you can go for that. Keep in mind, because 18, 19, 20th of May, these are the total conjunctions of Rahu and Mars. Now Mars here can give you a flair for, you know, it can add income definitely, but you have to make more effort for it, because Saturn is aspecting the Lagna. Sun is there in Aries, and then as Sun goes into the 10th house, in between Sun is also combust, the Jupiter is combust, so the 8th Lord is combust, the 5th Lord is combust. So some kind of delays a little bit, you know. This month is not exactly a very, what can I say, not a smooth month. Because see, though Sun is exalted, again Saturn is having an aspect on the Sun. So that is also a part that has to be remembered. So please lead a disciplined life. Don't go into unnecessary relationships. This happens in 8th house matters, secret relationship. It is not a good time for all these things, Leo Lagna. Take care of your health, take care of maybe some property related issues can come up. You may gain something also in the process, that can happen. Let Mars come into the 9th house. The transit is good for the Mars later from the 1st, 2nd of June in your 9th, and then in the 10th house it is even better. Let Jupiter settle down in the 10th house. Don't, you know, if your business is a little slow, if your things are not moving exactly in the home front also like you want, because it's a 4th Lord, some disruptions is there in the home front, take it in your stride and move ahead. because at this point of time you cannot make the things right. Some changes will happen. 8th house Mars means obviously your bhagya lord, your 4th lord, some kind of change it is about to bring, and the change will only happen when there is an ending. Pisces is that is the sign of Pisces, some kind of endings, and then you begin. So let the endings happen smoothly. Don't put a break into that. Let it happen smoothly. Maybe it's not according to exactly what you want, but you'll come out of it. But this 1.5 month is quite a challenge to go through. So go through it and come out of it. When Mars goes into Aries, a new chapter begins. Till then, take care of your health, your well-being. You can, gains can happen because Mars is aspecting the 11th house, also the 2nd house. So what money comes in, go along with it. Don't spend more. Don't be reckless, because Rahu is aspecting the 12th house also, and Rahu Mars creates a lot of undercurrent energies which we are not able to fathom exactly properly. So don't jump into decisions. That is also important. Decisions regarding the home, decision regarding traveling, any type of decision which comes very quickly and spur of a moment, understand it is driven from that energy. Be cautious, don't jump into it. Next comes Cancer. Cancer, this conjunction is happening in the 9th house. Now as Mars enters into a 9th house, you feel very driven. Actually your ambitions grow, because Mars, when it comes into the some expenses also it will bring, because it is aspecting the 12th house. But Mars from the 9th, it aspects the where already Ketu is there, the 3rd house. 3rd house aspect of Mars gives some gusto. You feel to do something, maybe in some kind of a decision you want to take in official area, because slowly Mars will go into Aries, so you already feel that charged up. So it is a transit which will give you that kind of a flavor. But wait, don't switch gears suddenly. Wait for the conjunction to get over. Slowly Mars, as now Mars is coming out of your 8th house after conjunction with Saturn, and similarly let Mars cross Rahu and get separated and go into Aries. This is your 10th house. It is a brilliant transit actually, it is coming out. So this 1.5 month after the 8th Saturn Mars, wait for this 1.5 month also. Don't take quick decisions. Already if you have taken decisions, carry it out slowly. See the pros and cons and all these things, because always take care of your health when Saturn is in the 8th house. It is aspecting your 10th house. Mars will join the 10th house. Venus and Mercury will also go. So lot of actions in the 9th and 11th for you. Jupiter will go into the 11th. Time is good, but in that good time, don't take a big jump. Understand that situations in the month of May is not very easy. So go with little steps, and then you'll find the process will become smooth as towards the end of the May month. It is the transits are slowly favoring you even more and more. But late, this is not exactly the time. After the 8th house transit of Mars and Saturn, now it is the 9th house of Mars and Rahu. So you can feel that I want to do it fast. There's a lot of ambition that's happens with such kind of an arrangement. It will happen, but give it some time. Then Gemini, it is happening in the 10th house. In the 10th house, you can suddenly feel a burst of energy that can happen. But Rahu being there, Rahu is not exactly the energy of Mars. It can give a twist to the things, and things will happen, but not exactly the way you want it to happen. But though it's a 10th house transit, it's a good transit in the sense that it can clear ways for new things to happen. It is always Pisces. When Mars enters Pisces and then towards Aries, it is a beginning, some ending of the things, and new beginnings happens. So maybe some projects that had been pending, you want to end it fast, it will end, don't worry. It will happen. And if you want some excess thing from your profession area, that can also happen. Mars Rahu is a vibrant force over them. Your expenses you should keep a check on, and Mars will aspect your lagna. Don't get too hot-headed immediately. If you're Gemini moon or something, take care of your health. That is very important. It is aspecting your house, the 4th house, the 5th house. So all these areas, Mars for Gemini is exactly not a good planet. We know that. But 10th house Mars is always good, because Mars feels comfortable in the 10th house. Rahu is also, it is a good time for to go get things, but again, don't flare up too much. This transits, how they're panning out is that it is good, but Jupiter is going towards the 12th house. So please think about the things, and Jupiter will also get combust. So expenses can happen suddenly. You can turn suddenly, very restless. Mars aspecting Gemini. Some these kind of events can happen, which are here and there, because this Angarak Yoga, or it's a Yuddha Yoga. Sometimes I feel it is like a war going on with Mars and Rahu. Some kind of a step, slow and steady step, if taken, it is better for Gemini ascendant, considering that Mars also is not a very good planet for your, but 10th house Mars is okay. It will give you the, it will put you into that place where actually you want to be, in your 10th house area of profession or whatever, the outside world. Then comes Taurus. Taurus, it is a 11th house transit. 11th house Rahu Mars is usually a good transit. Other than some disturbances with your progeny, I usually find the 11th house Rahu Mars is good actually. It gives your ambitions, your dreams, your desires a shape. If I can put it in that way. Some good money flow can also come. This is not bad. Apart from that, some misunderstanding with the elder siblings can happen, or your networking areas can feel a little jealous about you due to whatever reason. Your 7th lord and your just one thing is that your 12th lord is in the 11th. Maybe sources from the foreign, you get from contract with the foreign company or something, money from the foreign situations can flow in. Your 7th lord is going into the 11th, which is not bad, but again that conjunction with Rahu can create some volatility in the 7th house matters. Mars will be aspecting your 2nd house, your 5th house and your 6th house. 6th house aspect is good for competitiveness, or gearing up for the competition in the environment. Make the most of this. Why I'll say, because though you should always take caution when Mars Rahu is concerned, but still when Mars goes into the 12th house, it is exactly not the Mars that is required actually, other than traveling into the foreign countries when Mars goes into Aries. But this transit of Mars Rahu is actually good for many materialistic progress of your life, that way you can take advantage of this transit. Okay, so have a good time, Taurus. Then we come to Aries. Aries, Mars is your Lagna Lord, and it is having a transit in the 12th house. Actually, 12th house Mars gives some restlessness. That is the most important thing. And if you wanted some, recognition or something, that can come delayed. Foreign things can be favored with this kind of a transit, Rahu being there. But don't waste money or give money to people. It may not come back to you if you give philanthropic these things. So because Jupiter is also getting combusted by the Sun during the process, as Sun is moving into Taurus, first Aries then Taurus, and Jupiter is also moving into the 2nd house. Let Mars come on the Lagna. That is important, because see, now Saturn is aspecting the Lagna, Mars is in the 12th house. You can have a lot of, Mars in the Pisces, lot of dreamy things. You have a lot of ideas to it, but you cannot put immediately the ideas into action, because some kind of volatility, some kind of slowness can be felt. And if you push that thing and make those things happen, the decisions may well go wrong at this point of time. It is aspecting the aspect of the Mars in the 6th house can create some issues in your work area. Issues means some, because Ketu is already there. Mars is aspecting Virgo, though Virgo is not bad, but it is a Mercurian sign. It will be aspecting your 4th house also, which is Gemini. So this is also like, if you want to travel too much, you may feel that you are concentrated in a place, do it, but do it with understanding how much you want to spend, where you want to go, what are the things you need to take, because Mercury is also coming on the Lagna. First it is now Nicha and Kambas, then it will come on the Lagna. So Mercury sometimes is a very hurry-burry planet, so don't forget things in the matter, these things. And also it will be aspecting your 7th house, so keep a watch on your relationship with your business partner, all these things. Overall, Aries, it is not exactly a good time, as you know. Though Jupiter will move into the 2nd house, Jupiter will also become Kambas. So let this 1 month, 1.5 month pass. Already maybe you had, many people told that for Aries ascendant or Aries moon, this Mars Saturn conjunction had blocked up certain things that were good in the 11th house. Certain projects got blocked up, and some inflow monies also came late, and all these things. So if you have had this transit, because it's still running, the Mars and Saturn in the 11th, now Mars goes into the 12th, you don't go into the spree of spending, don't go into investment, don't unnecessarily give people money, take care of your health. Your vitality can be at times missing. All these things, it is a mixed transit, but you're waiting for a better transit from the month of June. So take calm. These are days where we have to, maintain a status quo at times and not jump into actions. We cannot do much. The planets have geared up into that kind of activity. But from June, better days and slowly betterment is seen actually. So let's wait for that a little bit. So this is the Mars transit in Pisces. We'll make a new video on some other topic next week. Till then, take care. Have a good day.